Hello everyone, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel for another comparison video. I'm really excited to bring this one to the channel because I mentioned it a while ago, maybe a month ago or so in a video, and it got hot response. So a bunch of you want to see which white paint out there will give us the best splatters on our projects. So these are the white paints that I will be comparing today. This is not a money savings video. This is purely a performance video. So which one performs the best, but then always take into account for yourself for your budget and what works. So these are the cards. They are all Bristol Smooth cardstock and they are all distressed oxide of the two colors I'll put on the screen. I did that because distressed oxide seem to be the ones that sort of absorb the color the most. I know dye inks do as well, but this was really, I wanted to see which one, if they work on distress oxides, then they're probably going to work on most ink. So first one I've gotten out here is the Arteza Gouache white. And to keep this comparison as fair as possible and compare apples to apples, I am going to put a little bit of the paint onto my plastic sheet there, and I'm just going to use a dab of water from my basically my paint can that I'm dipping my brush in. So I'm cleaning off the plastic sheet between each, I'm cleaning off my brush really well, and I'm going back and doing the same thing. So right here we are moving now into the Delusions paint spray. So I have two different ones. I have the Delusions paint and the spray. So this is the paint spray. Now don't mind so much the technique of how I'm doing this because I am kind of going through it quickly. The comparison here is to see really how they show up at the end when they're dried. Which paint was able to stay true bright white. So we're moving into the Dina Wakley Acrylic White here. And this is, again, dipping my paintbrush in just with one sort of big drop of water just to kind of get it moving around. And I thought so far, I'll give you my impressions as we go, but I thought so far things were going pretty smoothly. Everything was going on very bright. And I thought they were pretty much going to look all the same, but they do not. There are some really big differences here. So again, just talking about not worrying about sort of my technique. It's not really good here. I like to use my plastic sheet because it's flexible and it gives me a little bit more of a bounce with the flicks. So I do like that better than an acrylic block, but you do whatever technique works for you. This one is now the Alchemy acrylic titanium. The acrylics you have to shake up really well. Actually, all of them you should shake up really well if you can, because that's gonna, get that color mixing, the ink mixing around. Moving into the distress paint Picket fence. So I have the one that has the sponge on the top of it, but I don't think they make those anymore. I don't see them anywhere. Same thing is distress Picket fence paint. Even if it doesn't have that top, it's the same solution. So we did that one, and now we're moving into Delusions Paint Linen White. The other Delusions with the paint spray was linen white as well. So same color. One's in the spray, which is a lot more watery, and this one was a lot thicker. So this is a hot mess right here, but again, I would be paying a lot more attention to my splatters. I would water it down a little bit more if I wanted some smaller splatters. And I also chose a bigger paintbrush than I normally would because I wanted to be able to see the white go on there. I didn't want very fine splatters necessarily. I wanted them to be really easy to see. So now I'm using some Bic Cover It Correction Fluid. This is like the whiteout that we use on papers and things. Huge mistake. I wanted to try it because I thought this is $1 from the Dollar Tree. If this works, this will be a game changer. And the game is exactly the same. This is not a game changer. It didn't work. In fact, it kind of ruined my paintbrush. So I love the whiteout pens for white marks on my images, but I do not like the whiteout for the flicking method. So there you go. PSA for today. Now I'm moving into the Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White. This was recommended to me from a bunch of different people to try. And so I gave it a go. It's a jar that is very thick paint. So I picked out a little bit. This is way too much for my demo. You do not need this much. and I flicked it onto my sheet just like the others. As it's going on, I'm seeing that all of these are looking pretty similar the first go. So once I put the paint on there wet, they all looked pretty bright white. So that was interesting. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the Delusions paint spray because I wanted to try it without a paintbrush, and I wanted to open up the top and kind of flick the spray bottle piece onto my paper, because I think that is a very easy technique. Instead of getting out my mat, getting out my paintbrush, my water, this is just open up the bottle and tap the spray part onto your project. And so I was very, very pleasantly surprised with the way that it went down. In fact, I got perfect little dots everywhere. It was like a beautiful snowfall. I really, really liked it when I put it down onto the cardstock. So that was a really great surprise, and again, very easy. So here they are all dried. So you can see not all of them are bright white. So I'm going to pause this picture for a little bit because I want to show you there are some that are standing out. So the first thing I'm going to go over, though, are the ones that I wasn't really impressed with. I didn't think that I thought they soaked too much into the paper. They kind of dried back a lot. So I'm going to go over those first. This is the Alchemy liquid acrylic. I did shake this up because at first it was coming out very clear, but I shook it up really well, and I still only see a little bit of those white spots on there. Not even white, they're like cloudy. This next one is the Bic Whiteout, which we can toss that out. That is just a waste, and it did not work. So goodbye. Next one is the Dina Wakley's acrylic. I thought that dried back a lot, and it just, I don't know, it didn't really look as bright. And then this is the Arteza Gouache, which I didn't think really was bright enough. So if you're looking at those and that's what you're looking for your projects, just some subtlety, then that's a go. Now I'm showing you this is the Delusion Spray where I just did the tapping from the water bottle. And I'm showing you that because I really appreciated the ease of that technique. So I will be using that in the future, but it wasn't bright white. Okay, so this one is also the spray paint from Delusions. Dylusions, I'm not sure how to say it. I think it's Dylusions. But this is the technique where I flicked it on. Looks the same as far as the white goes as the other technique of using the same paint, so no surprises there. It's not bad. I thought it was okay. Next up is going to be the Delusions Paint. Now the Delusions Paint was brighter. That was definitely more white than the spray. Of course, I can assume because the spray is diluted with water or whatever substance is in there to make it easier to come out of a spray bottle. But the actual paint, I thought, was really good. It was really bright. It worked out really well. The next one is the Distress Paint Picket Fence. Be sure not to get the stain. This is the paint. And I thought this one did really well also. I still see a little bit of that absorption from the color, especially the darker blue. So it depends also, I'm sure, on the paper you're using and the ink, but I just couldn't use that many variables. I just had to kind of stick. Now this one is the Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof, and this is absolutely the best one. The name is true to form, and I will show you here in comparison. You can see the brightness of that. Never mind that I got perfect speckles. I don't even know how I did that because I was doing it fast just like the other ones, but it really is the best. I laid them all out and I had my daughter come up and I didn't say anything. She didn't know what I was doing. And I said, which one is the brightest white? And she picked that one hands down. So even if the camera doesn't pick up on it, I can tell you that from the testimony of an 11-year-old, this is the best one. It's also the most expensive one. And I can guess why, because it is really, really good, particularly if this is what you're looking for white paint for. Now, I know that I missed comparing some out there that work, so that's where I'm going to rely on all of you to comment down below with your take on your favorite white paint to get those splatters on your projects. I'd love to hear from you because I know this is not the end-all be-all. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope this was helpful for you to kind of figure out what's going to work in your craft room. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comment section. Don't forget to click the Linktree link below to link up on other social media platforms, as well as some affiliate links as well. I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.